So welcome back to Straight Talk. Before the break, Mike, you wanted to hold your comments until we got back. So
About the casino.
I never hold my comments, but the problem is I always have is that, and you know what, we've been talking about this casino issue for forever.
Sure.
For years and years and years and years and years and years.
Right.
And the council just, they're not going to let it go. You know, and in the show, we say the same thing. And it's almost like, it's like I keep repeating it, and I'm hoping, and I keep saying the same, I'm hoping that they're going to end up doing the right thing at the end of the day, and not the right thing for the Mohawk Council, the right thing for the community. Even though that they say they're going to. But
so what would be the right thing for the Mohawk Council to do for the community? Would it be to have the casino, have consultation with the casino? Because I mean, it's pretty much a done deal. I mean, that much I think we've already come to establish at this point. So in terms of consultation, I think, you know, in my own opinion, this is just kind of a wonderful way for people to serve coffee and cake and, you know, get out of the house, because I think it's an absolute waste of time for the consultation process. However, if this is just to show face that we are trying to be open to the community for the casino issue, well, that's fine. I'll give you an example. The casinos that they have, my band plays at a lot of casinos in different places in New York State, and I actually played one in Miami. The Seminoles own the Hard Rock Cafe, the whole chain. They had a vote. They had an opportunity to invest. They had an opportunity to be a part of the process. And they are constantly, consistently working towards building their brand name even further. You don't have that here, and that's not going to happen over here. What you're going to have over here is you're going to have a council-sanctioned casino, and it is going to happen, whether people want it or not, whether people agree with it or not. It is going to happen. That is a reality.
I think I'm still in denial about that.
I don't agree. I don't agree that it's going to happen whether we want it or not. I think that our community has been getting divided enough with everything else that's been going on in here.
Sure.
If you look at just the membership issue, it's divided this community over the years so bad that people in their own families can't even talk to each other. They actually hate each other. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's ridiculous. And then you know what? And it keeps saying is like they didn't create that. Of course you did.
Yeah.
You created. And you know, one chief told me one time, said, when I asked him about the blood quantum thing, and he said that we didn't start that. He said it started in the U.S. Once, you know, they were requesting that blood quantum to cross. I said, yeah, you did, because you adopted it. Mm-hmm. They might have started it,
sure.
But you adopted that here. Just because they done it there doesn't necessarily mean that we have to do it here. Mm-hmm. And that became a big issue. And then the casino becomes the same type of a thing.
In terms of, I think you're right, in terms of division, in terms of either the yes and no vote, but when it comes right down to it, the difference between blood quantum, in my opinion, by comparison to a casino, you're dealing with an identity, you're dealing with assimilation, you're dealing with sovereignty issues. In this issue, partly you are dealing with that, but you're dealing with money at the end of the day. And really, when they look at the economic basis of the community, that seems to be the biggest concern, where people are saying, I want the casino because I need a job, or I don't want the casino because I'm afraid of the money that's going to come in here from the people that are going to be coming in here. But it's already here. You already have the poker houses that are here, that have already been established and are already an accepted part of the fabric of the community.
And that's the other issue. Mm-hmm. We haven't even put those rules and regulations and laws and everything into place yet for them. Mm-hmm. We haven't. We're not tracking it. We're not following it. Within those agreements, even for the poker houses, there was supposed to be revenue that was going back to the community. They were supposed to donate a percentage. That hasn't been done yet.
I don't know about that. I mean, every time.
Listen, I understand individually. I understand individually,
right.
and that they're giving money to different organizations and
Sure.
charities and stuff like that.
Sure.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Part of the regulations is saying that a percentage of
Like a
what you're
tax.
making, sort of like a tax going back to the community. You know what? If you agree on it and call it a tax or call it whatever you want, there has to be revenue. Like they want to generate some revenue. Fine. If that's the way you want to do it, and if it's set up and they're in agreement to do it, to get it, then they should be doing it. But if you can't enforce it, then how are you going to enforce anything at all when it comes to the casino?
Well,
the problem.
so
I just want to
I'll-
say. I want to give you one more thought, and then
Okay.
I'll let you say whatever you want about the casino.
Okay.
My biggest concern, my biggest problem is one of the reasons why I brought up the membership issue is because that is an ongoing thing, and I don't, even if they keep sending it to the legislative committee to try to resolve, it's not going to resolve when council keeps saying that one of their selling points for the casino is that we're going to give you a royalty from it. Who?
It's an unproven.
But who?
It's absolutely unproven. I mean,
You live in a community, if you're 49.99999%, you're not getting it, but if somebody else, they will.
right.
So
That I can understand.
That's
what
gonna
you're
be a
saying.
big problem.
That's if they are going to do that, but I don't even think they're going to get to that point
That's what
point of even just wanting to distribute the money.
mean,
I think
that's
they're going to work
one of
on the
the-
infrastructure.
that's one of the reasons to sell it, so.
yeah.
Anyway, going back to what you had said about like the current, poker houses and stuff like that, how it's not enforced, they don't have to give back to the community. I think that's one of the reasons why there are people who are saying yes this time to a casino, to a community-owned casino where that would be enforced. And you laugh, but I mean that's one of the guideline principles that the MCK is like doing this, all this research and
But you know why?
Proposal.
Do you know why? Is because the first two times when those questions came up and the concern of this community prior to the moratorium, not the moratorium, but the referendum was, are we going to get any royalties from there? We're not sure. You may. People said, I'm not going to get a casino. You're not going to give me it. You're doing it on the backs of our community, and
Exactly.
we're not going to get anything for it. So everything that they did wrong the first two times, and that they couldn't sell it to this community, this time it's there. So I think that they're just lying to the community, and I don't agree with you. At the end of the day, you're going to lie about it, because the mechanism to put that into place in a community this large, to give royalties to each individual member,
Right.
is just the administration of that would cost more than what you would get.
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, Foxwoods can operate in that system because of the fact that their membership is so low.
Yeah, they have a handful of
The when you're looking at the
Senecas,
Senecas, but that's become a dismal failure in terms of how they're distributed. Now, the only thing that I wanted to add to this, though, everyone's talking about regulations, how they're going to be governing this and all this stuff. Who? Is it going to be the council based off what? Whose system of government is it? Is it going to be communal law? Because communal law on the outside is not recognized. Is it going to be Longhouse? Is it going to be from their perception? Because the Longhouse has already said no to this. So who's going to regulate this? Is it going to be the same way as how the poker?
The bigger question is, at what cost? At what cost at the end of the day? Everybody's looking at that cash cow.
Yeah.
They're looking at the cash cow. At what cost? If Mohawk Council had done a show, I don't know when it was, recently anyway, and they were talking to other communities that had casinos, and one of the chiefs or one of the community members at the time said one of the biggest problems that they did have was the disbursement of money and stuff like that. And
Sure.
then what it ended up happening is they gave up their rights for the taxing issue. So now that they're paying tax on their salaries, you know what? The Inuit, unfortunately, done the same thing.
Well, you
In
can even
Quebec.
go down to the Senecas. They did the same thing too.
But you know what? In Quebec, they had done the same thing.
Right.
They gave up all they kept surface rights. They gave up all their ground rights,
Sure.
and they're all paying taxes.
But that had
For-
to do with
for
the hydro, though.
Oh,
right?
this was the Inuit for their territory.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with the Cree or somebody else.
Oh.
So they're paying taxes. So everybody's giving something up to the government, and they're paying tax. And Mohawk Council keeps saying the same thing, where you're not going to be paying tax. You're not going to be paying. I don't have to start pinpointing the places in this community where it's already happening. We can't do that now. We
Yeah.
can't resolve that.
Yeah.
The casino's not going to.
But I'll tell you, the casino is going to happen. That it will. Listen, we're going to be back with more here on Straight Talk. We'll be back right after this.